People over to Wirral in 25 minutes.
We're 3 tanks short, so that's fine.
Okay.
Dental will take you.
Okay.
You are here.
Yeah, I think this one guys.
Right, so welcome to Leasowe Lighthouse. So Friends of Leasowe Lighthouse started in 1989, and this is when we take it over. And when we took over, it had been empty for 50 years. Literally, no roof.
There's the roof gone.
Yeah. This is the spiral staircase that you just come up.
So can you see us or
wow.
Move any closer? That's how bad it was.
You know.
Going up there.
Is that not what's there now?
I've not seen that vertically. Well, it's been replaced, but yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Largely.
I think that's probably the best picture to explain what you see, the steps that are there now. But yeah, this was the culprit, or one of the culprits anyway.
So as you can imagine, for
Yeah, because in the dropping gap line,
yeah.
line was the biggest destroyers of literally anything to be fair.
So I believe it was in 1980, the reason why this is called the Eastway School route is because the Eastway School raised £500 for the lighthouse. You can imagine 1980, £500 a lot of money. So we managed to get this floor in.
That's what the floor was like.
Partly seal the roof ever since then.
So that's how bad the floor was. Can you imagine? You wouldn't be doing this now, would you? So it was in a heck of a state. But we used there. So that's the flooring as it is now. Without the holes.
Before then, the council wanted to turn the lighthouse into a pub, believe it or not, of all things. Yeah, and a pub. But luckily we got it, and we're working our way to bring it, to a different scale. It's always different though in a Grade 2 listed building, because even if we want to replace the window, we have to have architects involved. We've got planners. All costs money, and then you're going to go to the council. They've got to make sure it fits in with it, and it can be an absolute nightmare. But where we're actually here in this room, this would have been the living room for the lighthouse keepers. So we have the basement would have been a storeroom. The floor below would have been the kitchen.
Yeah.
This is the living room, and then the next 3 floors were actually bedrooms. Yeah. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the lighthouse keepers later on as we go forward. But this is quite interesting. Does anyone know the story of King Canute?
Yeah.
You not heard it? I think it was about 1016, was it, Alf?
It was, yeah.
1016, there was a guy from Norway who used to live by Leasowe Castle. He was claimed to be the King of England because they had many kings.
It did eventually become the King of England.
Yeah.
But he was only 21 when this explanation was about.
This is the original bench that was at Leasowe Castle, and that was claimed to be his throne. And what he did, what he was famous for, he believed he had more magical powers than all of the other kings. So he sat there on the beach and said, I'm going to stop the tide coming in, because the tide will obey me. And of course, the tide didn't, went right up to his knees, and he got rescued. And that was the old tale of King Canute. Now, a lady, a very generous lady, she gifted us an amount of money, and one of the provisos, we got a master craftsman to make a replacement, if you like, for the original, and to have it here.
It's good workmanship, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
it's excellent
Amazing.
workmanship.
So, did anyone notice how thick the walls are? So that's a good, probably 4.5, 5 foot deep.
Yeah.
This building was the first lighthouse to have cavity walls. So it's actually like it's got an outer wall, space and an inner wall. And the reason they did that is they realised that rain and weather would penetrate the outer wall, but because it couldn't get past the gap, the inner walls would stay dry and stay warm.
Super.
And it's here, it was one of the original fireplaces for the living room. Can you imagine sitting in here? Now there was, is it in this room, Ralph? There was a grand piano.
I believe so, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, basically,
How big was the grand piano?
grand. There was no entertainment at all. It was, this area really was so marooned off.
Marshland.
It was just so there was nothing at all going on. And we'll explain about the family upstairs, won't we?
Yeah, but we believe that the piano was taken in pieces, brought up through windows, reassembled. And Alf was saying, I didn't know this. When it was taken out, it was the innards were taken out, and then the actual piano was sawn in half to be able to get it out. We believe it's somewhere in. Where is the toilet now?
Yeah. Obviously, the only way they could get things up really was block and tackle. So
do any of the kids know what this is? You know what this is?
A water bottle.
yeah, you've been here before.
So what they used to do, they used to fill this up with very hot water, boiling water, and they used to put it in your bed about half an hour before you went to bed, and then take it out and the bed would be warm. Yeah. There's something else for the kids. You know, we've had some funny answers to this one.
They used to like
This is.
Used to like their cups of tea.
Is this a giant teacup? Right. So if you can see it on some of these, I'll show it upstairs. So outside there was a stable, a goods place,
So this is
and also a toilet.
the picture. That was the
So can you imagine being on
there was
the
no toilet
3 floors up,
No.
3 o'clock in the morning, and needing to go to the bathroom?
So those windows open?
They do, yeah.
Oh, no, salty problem for it.
Yeah.
So what they used to do, this used to be under your bed, and you used to have to go for a wee in this in the middle of the night. And it's called a gazunda. And it's true, it's called a gazunda because it goes under your bed. And that's how they nicknamed it. So about 2 years after they moved in here, unfortunately Thomas, he died of TB, leaving his wife and obviously Dora. He'd been here. A lot of the other kids might still have been here, and some of them might have been away, but they came from Llandudno, from the lighthouse there. And so, interestingly, can anyone tell me what Thomas is holding in his hand in the picture?
Telescope?
Yeah.
Is it nice?
So, as well as the beacon being here, I'll explain about the beacon. As well as it happened to be lit 24 hours, one of the other duties that the lighthouse man had to do was to report on weather and also to report on ships that were heading this way. And what he did, he used to look through his telescope to look at the flags on the ship to see who owned the line that was coming on, and it would tell you all of the things, maybe what it was carrying, things like that. Then what he would do, he would use semaphore flags to radio, basically an old radio kind of system, but flags, to relay that information to the Bidston Light, and they'd relay the information because they could see right into the docks from there. Wow. So all the dockers and the line would get all the people ready for that ship to come in. Have a guess at how many bricks this lighthouse is built by. Any guesses? Close. They believe it's about 660,000 bricks. And one of the things we do know, who likes school? Not many hands up there. Well, I think you like school, as you found out that when this was being built, we know that children were involved in making the bricks for here. And the reason we know is, Alf will show you, you'll see 4 tiny fingerprint marks on the bricks.
That's
Can
where
you see them?
when they'd done their quantity, they would sort of put their fingerprints in to sort of say, look, this is what I've made.
have been watching Munchy Road Hippopotamus. Follow us on Twitter at Munchy Road and on Instagram at Munchy Road Hippopotamus. Don't forget to like, subscribe and add a comment. All these good things help us defeat the evil that is the YouTube algorithm.